Please subscribe for future daily weather updates.
Hey, welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman with a new daily feature I hope you can enjoy and kind of put in your back pocket here. If you can do me a favor, if you enjoy this report, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on the daily content from this, and give me a comment. Tell me what you think of this new look. All right, we're going to first start by taking a look at what we're seeing here across the country here on your Wednesday morning on August the 21st, as we've got some clouds rotating around upper level low here up into the areas of the Northeast. Upstate New York will see some rains for today. A few thunderstorms possible across central Florida. We got a cold front way far south down this way. Got a little upward little disturbance here across areas of Missouri and Iowa and Illinois, setting off some rains there. A few thunderstorms up in here into the Dakotas for this morning. May see some active weather up into Montana for today as well. And we got some rain and some storms into Colorado. Let's take a look at the big surface map right now. Again, look at that cold front way far south. It's so unusual to see that this time of year. I like to lovingly refer to this as fall's fall. It kind of keeps you, fall's right on the corner, but don't worry, you folks here in the Midwest and areas dealing with this nice, cool weather, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to rebound big time a little bit later into next week, and I'll show you that here in a second. Again, we got some thunderstorms up here across areas of the Dakotas this morning. Might see some active weather here across portions of Montana for today. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these thunderstorms here across the portions of the Dakotas. This is right on the South Dakota, North Dakota line here. Got a pretty good thunderstorm here just to the north of Buffalo. It's just moving off to the east fairly slowly, about 20 miles per hour or so. So again, we'll see some more storms in this area as well as in other areas of Montana for later today. Let's go ahead and talk about our weather city of the day. A little new feature here, kind of highlight. This is Westfield, Massachusetts. Expecting a high temperature today of 71 degrees. And if you've got a webcam that YouTube has or some other source that you'd like to be kind of highlighted into this presentation, just go ahead and leave the a link down below of that webcam, and I'll go ahead and work it in here, and we'll highlight your city for this regular feature here on the Weather Nerds channel. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about where we're expecting the severe weather risk for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, as we are looking at a little pocket there across areas into Montana. You see that yellow area. That's where our highest risk for severe weather is going to be. You see that marginal risk kind of coming out into the plains here for today with possibility of a few thunderstorms potentially becoming severe. Now, it's not expecting any big tornadoes or anything like that with this particular system. It should be fairly quiet here for today, but you might see some very high winds. That's going to be the concern here in that yellow area. You're going to see that right there. That's running about a 15% chance of seeing some strong gusty winds. And we're talking about areas there into Miles City, Montana, Glendive, Montana, Sydney, as well as Williston, North Dakota. So those are the areas there of concern for the possibility for some severe weather for today. So keep a watchful eye out for that if you live up into that portion of the country. Obviously, we're heading toward the peak of the hurricane season. And for right now, tropics are once again on the quiet side, but I really feel we're getting really close where someone's going to flip the switch and it's going to get very active out into the tropics for right now. As we take a look at the satellite imagery out there for today, still seeing a bit of that Saharan dust out there. You can see that's brown hue that's kind of sitting in here. So again, as I've said before, that Saharan dust can act as a bit of an inhibitor. It is warm, it is dry, and it's definitely the kryptonite when it comes to tropical waves. Now, these waves get further off toward the west. They get a better chance for development. They're a little bit further away from the dust source. So I think we'll start to see things begin to get cracking into this area here, especially as we go toward the first week in September. That's when things really start to get hopping. In fact, the latest look from the Global Tropics Hazard Outlook is really seeing an uptick here expected, especially from, say, August 28th through the 3rd. That's when we're seeing things really get hopping. We're talking about a 60% chance of seeing maybe some sort of tropical depression forming out in this area as we go into the first week of September, right around Labor Day or so. And then that will continue as we head towards September the 10th, a little bit later in the month of September. Of course, the peak of the hurricane season is September 10th. So again, things will start hopping back out in the tropics. We get a little bit of a break now that Ernesto has moved on off. But again, we're going to see more activity there showing up here soon enough. All right, we're going to talk about this unusually fall weather that's sitting here across the east. This here is your temperature anomaly map here. And you see those greens and those blues in it. We're talking about temperatures definitely running below normal here across the Midwest here. Obviously above normal out here in this red zone here. And we're going to do a little bit of a flip-flop here over time as we go into next week. So the area that are getting the cool weather now, that's not going to be sticking around for too long, folks. In fact, it's going to start heating up once again. But we'll go ahead and take this again through here. The timestamps there in your upper right-hand corner throughout Wednesday, still looking pretty good as well. It's going into Thursday. But we are going to see things begin to cool off out there in the west. And notice it start the below normal anomaly here showing up out here in the west coast coming in. Definitely a little hot patch here across portions of Texas and into Oklahoma. And we're starting to see that blue starting to slowly but surely fade away from the southeast. That means get ready. For every reaction, there's an equal but opposite reaction, and we're going to get that as things start to heat up, especially across the southeast. We're going to hold on to that into this weekend, but things really start to heat up. Boy, look at the unusual warm weather there across the plains in here, up from the Dakotas, stretching back into here across the southern plains. Again, here's that new cool pool coming in here in the west. Still only got a little bit here across the southeast to maybe slightly below normal temperatures there. But again, that's not going to last long, folks. It's going to be clearing on out here as we go into next week. Again, continue to watch that time cue in the upper right-hand corner as we watch the blue go bye-bye. Look at all the red here in the east now, across the southeast and across the Midwest as well, from Illinois stretching back toward Texas. Still looking at some areas there of either below normal or close to normal there across the Intermountain region. This is going to kind of pull out into the plains here eventually, slowly but surely, as we go in through going in from August and then going into September. So we'll see that continue to change. Again, watch that time cue at the top as we go ahead and take this all the way through its run. And again, look how warm things heat up by the middle of next week across the southeast. We're probably going to be looking at temperatures getting back well into the upper 90s once again across Alabama and Georgia. Everybody here in the east is definitely seeing that warmer temperature there. Looks like a cold front coming up here across Montana and into the Dakotas, so things will be cooling off there as we get a little pool of some drier and some cool air coming in out of Canada across that area as we go into the middle of next week. And as we go ahead and take this out to the end of its run here, you can see that kind of set up there. As you can see that frontal system migrating here across into the Midwest. Here's that next pool of some nice cool air there. Still kind of warm here in the east as we go in toward the end of next week. So we're talking about Thursday of next week with that system driving down with another cold front there. And as I go ahead and clear this out, again, we'll take this out to the end of its run and we'll see it kind of push off. So it looks like we get above normal temperatures for a lot of the east, and then we got a cold front that's going to come in and back those temperatures off a bit as we go into the following Friday. So we'll have to watch that system very closely. Let's go ahead and switch this over to precipitation mode. We'll go ahead and track those frontal systems once again, as we're looking pretty quiet across the big chunk of the country here for today. You really can't complain. Not a lot of major storm systems. Garrett, it'll be a little unsettled here across areas of the northeast for today with that upper level cool pool there. Daytime heating, you're going to destabilize that air a little bit. You'll get some rain in that neck of the woods. Again, we're going to be watching for a few thunderstorms up here across areas of Montana. And of course, with that front stall down across South Florida, they'll get some rain down there as well for your Wednesday throughout the day. So again, watch that timestamp in the upper right-hand corner as we go ahead and stick this on through again as we go into your Thursday, knowing a few thunderstorms there across areas of the Dakotas. Bringing some rain in there for you Thursday morning, and still unsettled again down here across Florida as well. But it looks like the rest of the week not looking too bad here as we'll continue to pull this on out as we get that weak system coming into the areas of the Great Lakes. Not only showing a whole lot there, and looks like we got another system coming in on the northwest. You'll see that going into Saturday there. You see the unsettled weather there across Washington State and down into Northern California. So this area here with our little next system here, a little disturbance here across areas of Iowa for some Saturday. But again, no real big widespread areas of rain here expected as we go into this upcoming weekend, as things will not be looking too bad there. So again, we're going to take this forward again through time as things will stay fairly quiet until we watch that next storm system that's going to bring that cool air out of the high plains there from Montana and into the Dakotas. As we go into next week, we'll see that kind of fire up some storms there across portions of Wisconsin as we go into the day on Tuesday. And then as we bump into some of that, here comes that big system coming into Thursday. Looks like we may see some active weather here across portions of Minnesota, stretching back into areas of Nebraska with a pretty good cold front. And now as warm as that air is going to be out ahead of it, we're definitely going to see probably some potential for some severe weather. Could not rule that out as we go into Wednesday of next week with that cold front. And as we go forward in time, again, you see that cold front kind of moving into the Midwest. We'll see some active weather there, especially with this big low. So you got this low pressure system back here, right through there. You're going to have a trailing cold front through here. So again, severe weather possibility in here going into Thursday of next week, stretching from, say, down toward Oklahoma and stretching back up toward areas of Wisconsin. So we're talking about going into August the 29th. So next week with that pretty strong cold front moving down with another shot of some cool air that'll be arriving at that time. And then that'll push off toward the east. So that's a pretty vigorous system. Not looking too bad there as you'll see that cold front kind of diving down into the southeast with that cool air kind of wrapping in behind that system as we go into the end of next week. So looks like things are going to pick up as far as the storm systems, although we're kind of quiet for the moment. Looks like we got a pretty active frontal system that we're going to watch as we head into tomorrow. Now, as far as what the climate outlook is looking like, here's what that's looking at for that 6 to 10 day period. As we were expecting, again, we're going to see the warm up here in the east. So again, those very cool weather we're seeing out there now is going to replace with above normal temperatures. Here's one of those initial cool pools coming down here toward the end of next week, which will begin to migrate off toward the east here through time. So I think with the new model run that I'm looking at, I suspect that this will get updated here in the next day or two. Now, we're looking at below normal precipitation generally in here. In fact, as we were showing you going into next week, most of the country is looking fairly quiet. A little above normal pocket here across the areas of Arizona and New Mexico. That's with the monsoon there. And we got a pretty active storm track there along the Canadian border there, bringing some rain there. But otherwise, most of the country is looking at below normal precipitation. Going out for days 8 through 14, again, that cool shot there coming down here, at least advertising at it as near normal. We'll see if that holds up because of the new model data that came in for today. As we go in from August 28th through September 3rd, this will push off toward the east, and I suspect that this is going to get updated a little bit to reflect the new model data as this cooler air will kind of move into this portion of the country as we go in toward next week. So around the 30th, the way things are currently tracking. And precipitation-wise, again, looking at below normal here, pocket here in the middle of the country. Monsoon season pretty active with the above normal precipitation expected from Wyoming down into the desert areas of the southwest, and a little bit more activity here across the Florida coast as well, with a chance of precipitation as well as into the northeast. So that's your climate outlook there as well. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this new daily feature. We'll kind of go through the big ticket items. We'll look at the current weather for the particular day. We'll take a look at the tropics. We'll look at the severe storms. And we'll also look at the climate outlook here on a regular basis here on the Weather Nerds channel. So if you enjoy this new feature and if you'd like to get it as a regular part of your YouTube feed, I know there's a lot of people out there in the YouTube universe for you to go ahead and get your weather information from. And I would be honored and it'd be a privilege to be one of your sources for weather information. So all you gotta do is, again, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And if you like this new setup, tell me what you think. If you'd like to add some additional features to it, or if you got something in mind, please leave a comment down below. All right, that is your update for this morning on August the 21st. We'll see you tomorrow on the next edition. Until then, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.